Good evening, Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to our 11th virtual Shabbat service. Well, for your health and safety, we have been doing these services online and made available to all of you, but I can assure you that the moment we are told that it's okay, that we can gather together in the chapel, we will. Well, did you know that this week is also Shavuot? Shavuot celebrates the receiving of the Ten Commandments, also gives us that whole name of Israel as the land of milk and honey. So by tradition, it's cheese blintzes, cheesecake, and honey. But the honey isn't the honey that we know from bees. It's honey that comes from dates. So it's a very special holiday for all of us, and I hope you enjoy it. Well, stay in touch. And again, thank you so much for all of your generosity and helping our community. The need is still very much there, and your help is appreciated. My thanks to Cantor Michelle, who's 25 miles down the valley, and she's been putting this service together and adding all the special music and special effects for this service for all of you. And to Janet for the lighting and behind the scenes being able to do this service in our home.
Please join me with Cantor Michelle as we welcome Shabbat by lighting the Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu Lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom.
Let's continue with the singing of Hine Matov, how good and pleasant it is for us to be together. But first, let's see who's giving us a greeting this week from somewhere around the country.
Dear B'nai Vail family, Shalom and Shabbat Shalom from Israel. Today is not only Friday, today is also the holiday of Shavuot. Shavuot in Hebrew means weeks, 7 weeks, since Passover until now. And Shavuot is one of the 3 Jewish pilgrimage festivals, very important holiday. This is the holiday which we received the 10 Commandments brought by Moses when he came down from Mount Sinai. If you want, this is the first constitution ever made, and of course accepted by the Jewish people. So today is a special day, combine Friday with the holiday of Shavuot, and tomorrow is Shabbat, the holy day. You know, every day of the week, we use it in the term of male. We say Yom Yafeh, pretty day. We say Yom Aroch, a long day. But in a male term, not female, Shabbat is the only day which it's female. We say Queen Shabbat, Shabbat HaMalka. We say adorable Shabbat, Shabbat Maksima, Shabbat Aruka, long Shabbat. So Shabbat is female and not male. All the other 6 days are male, not female. So you can see how the Shabbat is so holy. So from here, from Israel, this beautiful Friday with the holiday of Shavuot. So Shabbat Shalom everybody, far away to Vail from Israel. Shalom Shalom and Shabbat Shalom.
מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יללי, ילללללללי, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יללי, יללללללי, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
There's a wonderful reading called God's Expectations. It talks about the way we need to act, not only in calm times, but difficult, challenging times like we have today. God has pointed us in the direction of good and righteous living in the book of Micah. It is our compass and our star that guides us day and night. God asks me to do justice, treating others with kindness, compassion, looking way beyond what's necessary. God asks me to be merciful, forgiving others and releasing all those old grudges. Now's the time to lend a hand to those in need. God asks me to walk humbly without pride, self-importance, humility, and grace, and worthy of all people. But finally, we fulfill these expectations each day to the best of our ability. Each and every day, we need to remind ourselves of these as others look to us for direction. As the pilgrims approached Jerusalem, they lifted their eyes to the mountains. They looked up and they said, "From where does my help come? My help comes from God." We also have that beautiful opportunity here to lift our eyes to our mountains and pray for help and hope for all. We join with the cantor, Asa'anai. During the last couple months, I hope most of you have had a chance to go outside and see much of God's wondrous creations. Let me offer you a prayer. As we join together on this Shabbat Eve, we take in the greatness of God's creations. As the snow melts on the mountain peaks on high, let our worries of the week flow away. As the mountain springs give forth fresh water, let our souls feel refreshed. As the creeks join streams and become the great rivers, let our faith and love grow stronger. As we stand in awe of the great beauty of our land, let our faith in God increase and renew, and let this Shabbat be a time of peace. Amen. Let's now travel back to the 16th century, when Shlomo Alkabetz wrote the beautiful song and prayer, Lecha Dodi. He saw Israel as a bride. Join with the cantor, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha lecha dodi, lecha likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat legabalai. Lecha lecha dodi, lecha likrat kala,
Our service now continues as I will read for you Psalm 92. It is good to give thanks to you, O Lord, to praise your name through song, to speak in the morning of your loving kindness and your faithfulness each night. To the music of the lute and the harp, the melody of the lyre, I'll sing with my delight, as the cantor continues, Tzadik Katamar.
Tzadik Katamar yifrach ke'erez balmanon yizkeh shetulim beveit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenun beseva deshenim bera'ananim yihiyu lehagid ki ashar Adonai suri velo avlatavo.
Now I'm going to continue with the reading of Just for Today, written in 1921. It was sent to the Boston Globe, but for all of us, I've had so many of you request copies of this prayer because different times in our lives it has so much meaning to each of us.
Just for today.
Just for today,
Just for today, I will live one day only, forgetting yesterday and tomorrow, and not trying to solve the whole problem of life at once.
Just for
Just
today,
for
I will be
today.
unafraid of life and death, unafraid to enjoy the beautiful and be happy. People are as happy as they make up their minds to be.
Just for today, I will adjust myself to what is and not try to adjust everything to suit me. If I cannot have what I like, I will try to like what I have.
Just for today, I will be agreeable, cheerful, charitable, do my best, praise people for what they can do, not criticize them for what they cannot do. And if I find fault, I will forgive it and forget it. I will try not to improve nor regulate anybody except myself.
Just for today, I will have a plan. I may not follow it exactly, but I will have one. It will save me from worry, hurry, and indecision.
Just for today, I will get people off my nerves and not get on theirs. I will appreciate them for what they do and what they are.
Just for today, I will not show it if my feelings are hurt.
Just for today, I will find a little time for quiet, to relax and to realize that what life is and what can be. Time to think about God and get a better perspective of myself.
Just for today, I will look at life with fresh eyes and discover the wonder of it. I will know that as I give to the world, so the world will give to me.
As the Israelites stood on the walls of Jerusalem, they stood and faced the people for the call to worship, the Baruch Hu. As we stand now and join together with the cantor in our call to worship, the Baruch Hu.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la.
We continue with the most ancient prayer found within our Siddur, the Shema, as we'll join together with the Levi girls and they lead us in the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Mahuto Leolam Va'ed.
The cantor is now going to continue with the singing of Hashkivenu. And on this Shabbat evening, we seek peace and comfort. Shield us from the hatred and destruction that plagues so many of the corners of our world at this time. But may we always feel protected in the shadow of your wings.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Behamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Behamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ushmor tzeiteinu uvoeinu lechaim ushalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Behamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Behamidenu malkeinu lechaim.
Elie Wiesel once wrote about how it's so important for all of us to know who's in need of healing. And I, too, need to know the same. So if you have a friend, a neighbor, a family member that, because we're so distant, I wouldn't know about, let me know. We'd like to offer a prayer for them. Well, Wiesel wrote that once the Ger Rebbe decided to question one of his disciples, and he said, "So how's Moshe Yaakov doing?" But the disciple didn't know. "What?" shouted the Rebbe, "you don't know? You pray under the same roof, you study the same text, you serve the same God, you sing the same songs, yet you dare to tell me that you don't know whether Moshe Yaakov is in good health or is in need of help or advice or does he need comforting?" Well, Wiesel went on to write, and he said, here lies the very essence of our way of life. Every person must share in every other person's life. One must not be left alone, either in times of sorrow or in times of joy. Well, we've now arrived at that time in our service where we think about those in our community in need of healing as we join together in Mishnah.
May the source of strength
As we think about those that have gone through difficult times, and many of us have, and come out the other end healthy, there's a special prayer which is recited called Birkat HaGomel. Let me read that for you now. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, HaGomel lechayavim tovot, sheg malani kol tov. It means, blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who bestows goodness upon the accountable, who has bestowed goodness upon all of us. And then as a congregation we recite, may God who has bestowed goodness upon us, may God bestow every goodness upon each of us forever. Amen. Cantor Michelle will now continue with the chanting of the Reader's Kaddish. It's a hymn that praises God and also marks the separation between the sections of our service. The entire prayer is chanted in Aramaic. The purpose of that is to show the importance of praying in the common language of the people, as Cantor Michelle continues with the chanting of the Reader's Kaddish.
Yitkada ve'yitkadash shemei Rabba Ve'alma divra kirutei ve'amlich malchutei B'chayechon uvyomechon Uvchayedecho bet Yisrael Bagala Uvizman kariv Ve'imiru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach Ve'alam u'omei maya Yitbarach v'yishtabach Yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaser V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal Shemei dekudsha Brichu Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Da'amiran be'alma V'imiru Amen.
The cantor will now continue with Adonai Sfatai Tiftach. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory, as we join with her.
Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha.
Our service continues with a song and a prayer taken from the book of Exodus. Ozi v'zimrat Yah. It means God is the source of my strength and my courage and has become my deliverance. We turn to this prayer when we are seeking strength and courage as we join with the cantor.
Yah, Vayehi Yah, Vayehi li Lishua, Ozi Bezimrat Yah, Vayehi li Lishua, Ozi Bezimrat Yah, Vayehi li Lishua, Ozi Bezimrat Yah, Vayehi li Lishua.
Let's take a moment now for a thought and a prayer. From the book of Psalms, we can learn that every act of chesed, that's a kindness between people, even a small one, is an actual act of creation, brightening the spirit of the brokenhearted. Well, for each of us, especially these days, well, some days are more challenging than others. As the days blur together, we might even ask ourselves, what day of the week is it? How will tomorrow be different than yesterday? And what if at that pivotal moment we're going through the motions, will we experience an unexpected kindness and our outlook changes? Small kindnesses, well, they brighten our spirit. These seemingly small acts of chesed, of kindness, well, they're there to remind us of the goodness in the world at a time when our news and media outlets, it's just full of grim news. Well, the festival of Shavuot began last week. It's a holiday celebrating our receiving the Torah on Mount Sinai. And during Shavuot, by tradition, well, we read from the book of Ruth. Ruth was a young woman bereaved at the loss of her husband and living in a foreign land amidst an unfamiliar culture. She finds herself living with her mother-in-law, Naomi, who has lost her husband and her sons. And when Naomi attempts to convince Ruth to return to her people, Ruth replies, Ki el asher telchi elech, for whither thou go, I will go. Emech ami, your people will be my people. Elohayich Elohai, and your God will be my God. Well, Ruth's dedication and kindness led her and Naomi on the road to Bethlehem, which was Naomi's birthplace. Upon arrival, Ruth and Naomi have nothing but what they're carrying. So Ruth offers to go to the wheat fields and she's to glean what's left for the poor. So now, enter Boaz, a wealthy landowner, and when he encounters Ruth, rather than be frustrated that someone is taking his sheaves of wheat, Boaz orders Ruth to be protected, and Boaz guarantees that she and Naomi will have enough to eat. So when Ruth asked why Boaz is being so kind, Boaz replies, I have been told of all that you did for your mother-in-law after the death of your husband, how you left your father and you left your mother in the land of your birth. You came to a people you had not known before. Well, Boaz recognizes the difficult decisions that Ruth had to make, and he responds with chesed, with kindness. Kindness begets kindness. Ruth made the difficult decision to support Naomi during her time of mourning. So just imagine for a moment how Naomi felt, realizing that she wouldn't need to endure this pain alone. So Boaz encounters Ruth and responds with kindness by, well, he opens up his fields, ensuring that she would be cared for. So why are these acts of kindness that took place 3,500 years ago, why is it significant? It is because when a person feels isolated and without hope, we can learn that it's the small act of kindness of another person that can help, what lifts their spirit. Now stay with me for a moment, because there's a modern day mathematic version of the concept of chesed, of kindness. It's called the chaos theory. And it states that randomness in life, or what looks like chaos, is actually affected by, well, small acts of change. This is best known by the popular model also known as the butterfly effect. So picture for a moment a butterfly. It's flapping its wings in India, which according to this theory can then cause a hurricane in Texas as a result of the small movement of its wings, affecting the air movement, which intensifies to the level of a hurricane. Imagine a small act of kindness, such as thanking the grocery clerk who smiles for a while afterwards, passing on that smile to the next customer who just had a tough day. But it helps them relax a little, so when they get home to their children, they're carrying less stress. They're able to be understanding, which then may lead to the children doing their homework without anxiety. They perform better in school the next day. And why? All because of a stranger's smile. Well, Ruth lifted Naomi's broken heart with companionship, and Boaz raised Ruth's spirit with hope. The world we know is built on our love and acts of kindness. So wonder, which acts of kindness, of chesed, are you doing during these dark days? Are you like the wings of that butterfly? Help creating a change for the better in our world. Amen. During the festival of Shavuot, it's one of the 4 times during the year when the Yizkor prayers are recited. We'd now like to invite you to listen to Cantor Michelle as she chants for all of us the Al Maleh, the memorial prayer. In solemn testimony to that unbroken faith which links the generations one to another, we call to mind those who are with us. Those we have loved and lost are with us here tonight as the sun sets behind the mountains. When we gather together in the sparkle of the fallen snow, when the blossoms open on the trees, they are with us. When we marvel at the blueness of the skies and the golden color of the aspen trees, they're with us. It's our memories of being with them that keep them alive, for as long as we live and as long as we recall their stories, they live too. Our loved ones will always be a part of who we are, and they are with us. Please join with me in the mourner's cottage. Yitzgadal v'yitzgadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divrach yibrutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agalav izman kariv v'imramein. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach ve'olam u'me'omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitzormam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata damiran b'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlomo Rabba min shemaya v'chayim Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imro amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imro amen. As the sun sets on this Shabbat, I'd like to offer a closing prayer for all of you. Adonai oz li'amo yitain, Adonai avarechet amo v'shalom. May the Lord grant strength unto his people, bless all peoples with peace, health, and happiness. Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for joining us at our service this evening. Please join now with the cantor in Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
And now please join us in Motzi. If you have a challah, join with us. If it's the next morning, grab one of your bagels and join together. We have this beautiful challah that Janet just baked as we join together.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.